So, Charlie Angus is talking about how Indigenous leaders should take this moment upon themselves to come forward and stake their claim on their territories because Canada is truly on its stolen Indigenous lands. Charlie Angus finally admits it, that we were abused. All of us, Métis, Inuit, First Nation, Algonquins, Ojibwe, Cree, Blackfoot, Sioux. They're admitting it now. You can't steal the country from us because we took it from the Native Americans. It's all Native American land. You can't take it from the government of Canada because it's their land. Huh. You wouldn't say it for 200 years, and now that another country is saying, we don't like the way you're treating your people, we're going to come in and take over this tyrannical communist government. Oh, you can't do that because we have a deal with Native America. You reneged on that deal many decades, 2 centuries ago, and have never ever repaired it. It is only my opinion that if the United States of America is going to respect Native American peoples and their territories, the sooner the Canadian government is gone, the better. All of the money that Canada is living off of right now, the economy runs off of the oil dollar. Justin Trudeau and the Canadian government has gone into multitudes of new Inuit areas, Ojibwe Cree areas, discovering oil fields, and has placed claim and ownership on all of those oil fields, despite the fact that they do not have the right for those to take those oil fields. The entire bank account of Canada, every penny that Canada gets from the bank, comes from money borrowed against Native American oil. So you want to talk about a fuck over? You're taking a product from the Indigenous people that has made you the richest country in the world, and you abandon your First Nations people. Nothing could be more criminal. Sure, yeah, I like the nostalgic idea of Canada. No, I don't like Trudeau's flag. And no, I don't like the lifetime exposure to the abuse that I've sat and watched my entire life. Never once have I saw Canada treat our First Nation people with respect. Other than when Justin was putting on a play, dancing around in a headdress, and Stephen Harper wore a headdress, and Craig Chan wore a headdress, and every one of them did nothing. Disrespected the headdress. Disrespected the First Nations across the nation. Everybody looking at me saying, what are you talking about, white boy? You're not First Nations. Well, you know what my grandmother was. My grandfather was. I am Métis. I am of First Nations peoples. And I do not like what I am seeing. The government of Canada brought out the military against teenage First Nation kids burning skids by the railways. The East Indian people of the Calistanis shut down downtown Brampton, rioted, burned. They did the same thing in BC. The local police stood around, watched, let them do it. The army was never called in for the terror cell known as the Calistani people that has made its home in Canada. Hundreds of thousands of them. in the streets rioting, and Canada still doesn't call out the army. But you called out the army and the RCMP for truckers. You call out the army and the RCMP for Native American protesters who are being abused. But Khalistani terrorists who just want to take over the country, you're doing nothing about. Nothing makes any sense. I honestly believe that America is trying to save Canada from being turned into a terror cell bedroom community, which it already is. We are becoming the enemy next door. Not because of you or me, but because nobody in Canada seems to realize the population of Canada has doubled. It hasn't doubled with any other community nation than East India. We are being overrun. The population of immigration now outnumbers the population of Canadian citizens. Therefore, in a democratic election, the person fighting for the immigrant will always win because they outnumber us. They outnumber us. He has succeeded in his corruption. The only way you're going to get rid of Trudeau is to accept Trump. You think he's going to let Carney take over when his ratings just went from 13 to 47? That man has too much of an ego. He thinks that he did that. I don't even believe 47 is real. I think that's polls lying so that when he steals the election, nobody's surprised. This country is shattered. It is not the Canada that people know. This is Khalistani Canada.